Hi there everyone. In this video we're going to have a look at taking a free hit basically. I've set it up for a 16. In a minute we're going to have a look at a more advanced free hit or a long corner, for example. Uh, Essentially the thought process is exactly the same. The way we stand and set up is exactly the same. And the wing backs, surprisingly not, is you have to be wide. Now I've put the player here, that's not wide. I want to see your heels on the line. Okay, or even off the pitch. The reason for that is when you get the ball, you'll have that little bit more space, a little bit more time to find your next pass, and it's just easier. The more space we create on this pitch, then the easier it is to play hockey. So you'll see the centre forwards are pretty high, from D to D, which we're unlikely to hit the ball here. But I've set this team up in a traditional format whereby this player is blocking the ball to goal line. They have promoted two players from the midfield up here, and it's called a W press. Although it looks like an M here, for them it would look like a W. So it's a very typical press that people do. Okay? No matter if they do that or R1, it doesn't make much difference to us. We're always going to stand the same way. But staying on that space thought, this is what's tempting. It's tempting for players to be here and just stand or just move little bits, okay? And it's not helpful because all you've done is you've compacted the space. It's very difficult to play hockey. So I want to see you going high, because what will probably happen, this guy or the goalie will be like, help, and this might happen. And if that happens, or like for example here, what we've done is then create space to play the ball into. Ball can come into here or here easily. So it's very important to not do this too quickly. You just wait, you create the space, and when you make eye contact, so when these two players make eye contact, then a pass can be made. If you run in too early, then you've ruined it basically, that you've compacted the space. So you have to wait and be patient. Now, if this person does run in, for example, doesn't get it, don't stand still, and especially don't sulk. You've got to think about you being in a washing machine. So you might then come like this. And then what that does, it allows this player to run into the space that you've just made, especially if that player follows you. If you didn't get it there, you could come out, and if you're in a washing machine, this is the sort of thing you'd be doing. You might come out that way, you then both might come up high again. You've got to keep watching each other. So it's not a left centre forward and a right centre forward. You just think about being in a washing machine and keep moving and create the space to post up or make a good lead into that space. Okay, so let's set it up. Let's say they're really disciplined and they're not going to fall for that. Okay, so we've got an option here, a bit risky. That player looks a bit close. That's a bit of a risk, isn't it? We've got a similar option here, but this player, it's been a doubt in our minds. So that just means that these players would have to come a little bit deeper, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so you want to get as high as you always can, but don't worry if you have to come deep, just to make the pass a bit easier for you to receive and make your next decision. But the reason the centre half is going to take the ball is this centre back is our get out of jail card, so we can always look to transfer it out. Or you could run this side if you can see a transfer here, or especially if the ball's starting over here, for example. But the reason I like this in particular is we can create an overload very, very easily against either this player or this player. And when we do that, we can get the ball down into these areas nice and quick, which is what we want to do. So we can attack along the baseline, get the ball into this really dangerous area and score some goals. So how do we do that? So I want you to think about promoting your player. So if they've set and they're looking good, promote, call for it, okay? So then what we're creating is a 2 versus 1. So let the ball come. Now, if you faff around with this ball for ages, you're going to get tackled and they're going to have a shot on goal. So try not to do that. So try not to promote yourself too far, but this player is going to come. As soon as you commit them, as soon as they make this movement, you have to shift the ball down their left foot and we're on. Okay, obviously in all this time, a good team, they're all going to come over, but this is where ball speed is important, okay? So if the ball speed isn't good, okay, so once you do that shift, if the ball speed's not good, you just retract and we can just try and see if we can get it out that side, okay? So you should always have, when the ball comes to this player, no matter what side, you should always have a get out of jail pass back. That's the centre back's job to make sure that's always on. Or you should now have, if you imagine this has happened, okay, so we're in this situation, we've got it, we've created the 2-beat-1. This player obviously wants someone running the line and the other person running high. So we're attacking with, the centre half, you've made that pass, you know what's about to happen, you can come in and promote, and the left wing, you've got to do this pretty fast because it's not down your side, so you come and back us up. So the wingers, if it's not down your side, it's very important, you become the defender. So we always have those two defenders basically. And it's on your side, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers. So the ball can come down the line. Obviously, they're going to be moving at this point. Once it comes down the line, can we then get it high? Okay, so as soon as it's gone down the line, obviously you're going to be making a lead. You're going to be making a lead, and we're attacking with 4. They'll be coming back here. So it might be an overload, it might be equal, like this, for example. But that's what it needs to look like. If it's not on, don't force it. If there's loads of strong sticks in front of you, keep it and transfer. And that's why we need the centre back to be the most active player, really, dictating the play. I'll have it back. It wasn't on, I'll have it back. Can we get the ball out to the side? So let's look at if we're a bit higher up the pitch. Again, the centre half is here. And I didn't talk about this actually in the last one. I didn't talk about the other overload you could do. So we'll talk about it now. But the same thing, really high, ball can't go in. But the most frustrating thing for me as a coach is when I see everyone outside the circle. You have to be inside the circle to score. So you're not getting the first ball, clearly. Now, we've got width. We've got width, you could be here. The wider you go, the more likely they are to do this, which then gives us options for like a post-up run once the ball has been played, maybe. So the ball could be played here if there's loads of space, and then just crashed in for people running, looking for deflections. But let's pretend they're a really good, strong team. So we could create the overload to allow the ball to come out this way. And this is the other overload I was just mentioning there. So you could have some sort of code word, like Delilah or something like that. And that means you're now going to take the ball. So you will run, you shout Delilah, that person's going to hear it, instantly know what that means. And now we're creating the 2 versus 1 here. So the ball will just be played there. It's going to really make this person panic. And obviously the ball can go here, then we get some height. So when it goes wide, can we get it high? All right, that's our message. If we get it wide, can we now get it high? If we get it wide and we can't get it high or can't get it in, then centre back, here you go, let it come back out. Then we can transfer again. So that is the message I keep trying to hit home. Can we get it wide? If we can get it wide, can we get it high or into a really dangerous position? If neither of those are on, that's option 1, option 2, or 1 or 2, it doesn't matter, there's no preference there, or 3. Every player should always have 3 options: get out of jail or a dangerous pass. Okay, so that's basically it. I hope that makes sense. I can't wait to see it in action.